So I see now Cuba has eased up its travel restrictions, and many people are rejoicing over that and so on. And what I think should happen is this: Cuba should come out and publicly say, "We made a mistake. We're trying this communist thing," because I recall when communism collapsed, Russia said, "Well, look, Cuba, we're not the Soviet Union, we're Russia, but you were part of a thing we were, and it was good knowing you, but look, you got to take care of your business now. We're not the Soviet Union, and so on." He needs to come up and say that he's given up on it too, because it's something that don't work. I mean, Engels and these people and Karl Marx and all them thought that this communism thing would take over the world and would be the next greatest thing. But I think this new maneuver of liberalizing travel, I understand Canada and some other country are investing into Cuba, and it's great, and so on. But people that matter, these professionals over there, everybody's going to leave. Everybody who has the ability to move is going to move out. I don't think anybody in the state that have money and education and all that, they're going to just leave. So Cuba going to end up now having a brain drain. Now, I don't know. I don't care. But same thing with China, that they want China to liberalize. And you see, around the world, movements are happening, and you have to see the principle. I think this thing that's happening in Cuba, this liberalization, and this liberalization that is being called for in China, those are the Cuban Spring Revolution and Chinese Spring Revolution. Now, you've seen what is done in the Middle East. Now, can you imagine China change its policy and open up some places and make everything whatever? All the Chinese they start feeling insecure in it, they are going to leave. I recall, I think it was after Tiananmen Square, Canada and some other people saying, "Hey, look at you, freedom and all this thing." The Chinese people said, "Listen, bro, we understand what you're saying, man, and you're right. But tell me, how many Chinese you think you need? You need 40 million? How much you want? 60? We could give you them in a ship, we could send them over to you real quick, no problem." And the back off, then understand that the Chinese people are just trying to take care of business. Now, if they come to a different system, and if we have a spring revolution in China, and everything collapses, or almost collapse like in Egypt and in Tunisia and in Syria and all that place, you had all this kind of disruption. And then Chinese start taking everything that could move, and they start moving out. Man, we have some problems. They have 500 million people over there. 500 million? Or it's 500 billion. Yeah, but they have so many people over there that, man, they could give everybody a couple million. And I don't think if Canada, at a certain time, they had maybe in the 80s and 90s, they had 20 million, 25 million citizens. Can you imagine that tripling? They got 50 million from Chinese over a weekend. That one will surely bust the economy. In Germany, united with the East and the West, and it was growth. More markets, they had to modernize over there, they had to buy, stove and car and fridge and all the nice stuff that they had in the West. But you get in your population twice, over in a short space of time, you're going to have some serious problems. And most of them, right away, they can't work, they don't need a check, they need some help, they don't need a place to stay, and if not enough place to stay, because it's all the houses you have to have 2 times of that in a week time. You have to have them in tents in schools, all over, sleeping in everywhere, warehouse, business places, all that, to help, and that surely will cause this society to collapse. So, the deal is this, that I believe that at this time, people got to be very careful what you're asking for, because some people think that their thing is the best, and everybody should have that. But people develop cultural situations based on the need and the perception and the fears and the whole 9 yards. And, some people around us think that democracy, capitalism is their thing. But I could prove that, although they try to tell me that it started in Greece and all that, I don't think so. I think that maybe the modern one is after the Reformation. The Protestant Reformation, when God started working again with the folks in Europe, they started to respect each other, respect people's rights and so forth. And so it's one man, one vote and all that. And if you give me your money to invest in this, I can do just what you said. But within 30 years, the Catholic Church stopped the Reformation. And things slowly, but now at this point in time, you can't get nobody your money, say invest. He's getting his friends some, he getting his wife some, he getting all them stuff. So you give him $100 to invest, all you might put to invest is just like 25,000, 75 gone. And then you start sending you invoices with all kind of writings scattered all over. You have to get a CPA to understand it. And, you know, when the election is over, they're still fighting the president. You know what I mean? Don't tell me that the democracy and capitalism are still alive. I mean, I would wish that, you know, it could revive and come back to, you know, times 100 years ago, 50 years ago, you know, and really have some progress. We do legal, rational. This thing is legal, it's rational. Let's do it. Let's support it, even though it's from the enemy, even from the opposition. Let it. But you know, so I personally, I'm very cautious. Not that I like one or the other. I'm very cautious about these new movements. I'm cautious about the Cuban movement. I'm cautious about people trying to get China to liberalize, because I know down the road is something that these folks have never seen before. The Bible says there's coming a time of trouble such as never was. And if important key people leave Cuba and they don't have people to run the show and it collapse, and China collapse, oh my God, we have some serious problems. And other places collapse, Europe collapse, so they're fighting to integrate as opposed to create jobs and get off this austerity thing. It don't work. People are gonna, you know, and so forth. So be careful, world. Be careful what you're asking for now, because you know. Ask God to give you what you need and not what you think you want, because I think people are so out of it these days that they're asking, you know, fire to fall on them and they're pulling down buildings on themselves.